This week, we address some cooling and cosmetic issues before we get Tanya ready for the next drift event.
Okay, so to combat one of the problems we were having on the racetrack, which is overheating, we got this. It's used. It's the 2-core aluminum radiator. It's going to be better for cooling for us than our factory radiator because our factory radiator is a single row with plastic tanks, and this is a 2-row with aluminum tanks. So we get a couple different things here. We get with 2 rows of piping connected to every section where the fins are. Basically, you get more heat exchange between the aluminum and the water. And then with the aluminum tanks, we get a little bit increased capacity for water storage. So we, in our system itself, will have more water, and it'll have better heat transfer to get all the heat away from the car. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find the fan relay for this, and I'm going to wire in a switch, a bypass switch for the fan relay, because typically when the car gets up to a certain temperature, the fans will kick on. The ECU tells the fan relay to close and turn the fans on. Well, the problem is that when you're drifting, you don't get a lot of airflow over the radiators, and it's basically the fans don't kick on until it's too late. It's already too hot, right? So we're going to have it set up so that I can flip a switch, and then as soon as I go onto the track, my fans are running all the time. So regardless of whether we're sideways or going straight, we're always going to have decent airflow over the radiator, which is going to get the heat out of the car. So that's what we're going to do next. So basically what we've got here is I'm trying to find a way to bypass the ECU's control to engage and disengage the fan. So the ECU is seeing the temperature input from the engine temperature sensor, and then basically it gets to a certain point, and then it closes the ground circuit for the signals for both the well, just the one fan. So there you have a primary fan, you have a sub fan. The sub fan only comes on when the AC circuit is on. I want both fans to come on when I want them to. So an easy way to do that is we know that we've got a 12-volt switch going from the battery to one end of our relay here, and then we have the 12-volt that goes to the fan, and then we have a 12-volt signal that goes into the contactor for the relay, and then we got the ground. So the ECU, all the ECU does is close the ground circuit for that relay. So what I'm going to do is make a bypass for both relays so that when I flip a switch, I'm closing the ground circuit for the contact for those relays, and then both fans will come on all the time. Okay, so this is I've already tested here. So if we look at the schematic on the relay, 3 and 5 is our switch, and this is the contactor. So I've already bridged 3 and 5 on our plug here to see if the fans come on, and if I take a little jumper and take a little jumper, hook it in there, fan comes on. Okay, so we know that is for the switch for the fan, and these two are dedicated to closing the contactor for the relay. So one of them is going to have a 12-volt signal, which that's our 12-volt signal, and then the other one is going to have no voltage. That's the ground that the ECU closes. So that one, if I take this and I connect it to ground when the relay is in the socket, it will turn the fan on. Heat up, heat up. God damn it. I hate you. There we go. Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me? What's so funny?
It's like fucking hilarious. I don't know why I thought it was so funny. You're sitting there soldering and you're blowing it off. You just see your fucking lips and your mustache sticking to frame.
Please don't use that frame. Oh my. Don't use that fucking shot. It's just... so sensual.
Oh god damn it, I don't know why that was so funny.
Are both fans on? Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet. So it works.
I just gotta find a spot to shove it.
Oh, I think I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah, low miles. Dash is like mint condition. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not mint anymore. Jesus. Oh, shit.
Hope the mic isn't picking up this music, because that'll be annoying.
I hope this doesn't lower the value of the car. Oh, come on.
That one clears.
Yep. Much sturdier. I like it. Okay. Should we try to mount the bumper? Or should we just leave it off? Give me the test. Oh.